Time for another stock review, this time Nikola, ticker symbol NKLA. In this review, you're going to get the most honest, real review on TV because I'm not influenced in the stock whatsoever. I'm not paid or sponsored. I don't own the stock. I only own the S&P. I'm fully invested. But during this review, you are going to see the price. You're going to see the intrinsic value, the balance sheet, the profitability score, the solvency score, who's buying on the inside, who's selling on the inside, inside trading. We're also going to look at short position. We're also going to look at the company itself, breaking news, all about the CEO, much more about that, Trevor Milton. Latest news today, just literally out in the last few moments, my thoughts on it, sentiment on it, and I aim to be the most honest person on YouTube TV. This is supposed to be unbiased and genuine. I'm not in the stock. I'm not here to promote the stock or dump on the stock, but to bring you the facts. And the facts alone can enable you to decide whether it's right for you to invest in this company or not. Now then, we have done a review before on Nikola. You want to look back on that, you can. Let's see how things have changed since then. So first of all, what is Nikola if you're not familiar with it? It's ticker symbol NKLA, and let's go straight into the information and let's go through. We start nice and simple, and we'll ascertain whether you can make money from this stock, whether it's right to buy this stock. Is it good for you? So before you get your credit card out and go, I'm going to buy some of this, Mr. Jordan Smith, let's go through the review and decide whether it's the right thing to do or not. Okay, let's get straight into it without further ado. Nikola engages in the provision of zero emissions transportation and infrastructure solutions. It designs and manufactures battery electric and hydrogen electric vehicles, electric vehicle drivetrains, vehicle components, energy storage systems, and hydrogen fueling station infrastructure. The company was founded by Trevor Milton in 2015 and is headquartered in Arizona. The listed name is NKLA. 2015, Arizona, 1,500 employees. The CEO now is Stephen J. Gursky. I would love to invite Stephen onto the show as we do have a Meet the CEO series. I've already interviewed 2 CEOs with many more to come. They tell me they prefer being here because it's open and honest. They can have a conversation. There's no bias. You just give me the facts and I will share it with the world. Good or bad, let's get behind the man or the woman that runs the company and learn about the exciting story that you want to share with the world in an open, unbiased way. Think of me as the BBC as opposed to Fox or CNN. There's no bias here. There's just facts, information for you to tell your story to the world. And we do rank number 1 for many of our stocks. So above Bloomberg and CNBC, people get to see and learn about our favorite stocks. So there we go. All right then, now then, I will tell you one thing before I go further. This is one of those stocks, for some reason, that has very, very aggressive investors. I would regard them more of gamblers, the ones that are involved with this. Not all of them. I'm sure there's some great investors on the stock, but it does seem to have a cult-like following who mainly sit in Reddit and stock twits, and they don't want to hear the facts. They just want to hear you say it's great, which is not what I do. If it's great, it's great. If it's rubbish, it's rubbish. And they get very aggressive and they don't even know what the stock means or what the valuations are or the balance sheet. We're just going to pump the stock and whatever. So they get very angry at my reviews because they want it to go one way and one way only, and we don't care about numbers. Anyway, we'll come on to that later on in the video because, of course, we know some information about the founder of the company as well. We'll cover that again in a moment. 100% maintenance, so it's regarded as extremely high risk if you buy it with margin. Average volume 69 million. A lot of volume on the stock. Today 82 million, but it's all going in the wrong direction though. 97% down if we look at it since it started. 97% down. Come on to the value in a moment and the real valuations. No dividend. Obviously, they can't pay a dividend. It's losing money, negative 47 cents. The market cap, 836 million. 836 million. Sorry, 838 million, I beg your pardon, is the market cap. That's the valuation of the stocks outstanding, which is not the value of the company, just the value of the stock price. Okay. 52-week high, 371. 52-week low, 52 cents. And obviously this has taken into account the splits, of course, as well, and all the rest of it. Okay, so let's go down and have a look at the analyst ratings. Now, this was done by Morningstar. I would not use this as a guide to buy the stock. They're sponsored to present this information, so who knows if it's real or not, but and they could have their own bias on it. They're saying it's a hold, not a buy more than a sell. No sells at all. I mean, no one would say sell it unless it was finished, right? Not at this price anyway. Hold 71% or even buy it at 28%. It's been steadily increasing its earnings. It is losing money. It's been steadily improving. February the 22nd, in 2 days' time, we might cover the earnings. If we get lots of engagement to this video, I might cover the earnings. So we'll see whether you want me to cover the earnings or not. Who's buying the stock? Workhorse, I've not done any research on that. Plug Power, great company, the same thing. Very aggressive. Russian oligarchs, manipulation. They'll come into my channel. I had a video that blew up because Russian oligarchs or Russian influencers were coming in, creating false numbers. Literally, it took over the channel, took over the video. It was ridiculous. Plug Power is great, but some of the scammers behind it are awful. Absolutely awful, and that's who you're in bed with. Fuel Cell Energy, another very difficult stock. NEO, a lot of manipulation here. Very, very manipulated stock from China. Lucid, the worst stock on the stock market, very scammy. Virgin Galactic, great shame to see that company labeled in there as well, but they are. Virgin Galactic used to be my favorite stock. It still is something I'm really passionate about, but the management, I think, are making an absolute arse of it right now. That's what I think, but there you go. So some very volatile stocks here at the moment. Let me share with you now some of the information, the website, the numbers. Does it all make sense? So let's go straight into it. Can you make money from this stock, or are you getting hot under the collar and shouting and screaming? A lot of angry people, a lot of aggression, a lot of confusion. Very hard to ascertain the real value of this stock. Let's go now and have a little look. This is the website. Website looks like the website did when I last reviewed it. No change here. We see this truck rolling down the road. There's been no updates that I have noticed on the website since I last did this review, but that's fine. We know a bit about the company. We've already covered the company, but let's just read a little bit. Hydrogen fuel cell EV now in production. I like the idea of that. I think that's really, really good. Modular solutions. What else can we say about the company that we haven't covered before? Let's go straight into this news here. You know about this. This happened a few months ago, but I've got a follow-up to this. Nikola founder Trevor Milton sentenced to 4 years in prison for fraud. Never good when the founder of the company is sentenced to 4 years in prison for fraud. Obviously, not a good story at all. And it doesn't ever help the stock. This doesn't. Nikola founder Trevor Milton was sentenced to 4 years in prison for defrauding investors of the electric and hydrogen-powered truck maker. Milton was found guilty in October 2022 on 2 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of securities fraud. Now, we know this. This is old news. I'm just touching on it, but it is really out of date now. We know about this, but it's never really recovered. But this is what's new. And I want to cover this. This has just come out. Concerned stockholders of Nikola Corporation introduced slate of independent director candidates for election of the company's board at the 2024 annual meeting. Concerned stockholders of Nikola Corporation introduced slate of independent director candidates for election for the company's board in 2024. Contends the case for significant change in the boardroom is clear. Following years of poor corporate governance, operational underperformance, stock dilution, and considerable financial losses. highlights the destruction of nearly 100% of Nikola's value since Chief Executive Officer Steve Gursky and Chair Steve Schindler took control in 2020. Notes, the group's 5 highly qualified and independent director candidates poses experience in strategic planning, executive leadership, operations, manufacture, and the electric vehicle industry. M&M, together with affiliates and the participants named herein, the concerned stockholder group, our group owns approximately 4.5% of the outstanding common stock of Nikola Corporation. Today, the concerned stockholder group issued the below statement regarding its nomination of 5 highly qualified and independent director candidates for election. Now then, will this make any difference? We need to really shake up the boardroom. I'll just read a little bit more and then I'll come on to the numbers. Our 5-member slate of highly qualified and independent candidates is excited about the opportunity to help fix Nikola's addressable issues and put the company back on the path to value creation. Since taking over as chair in 2020, CEO Steve Gursky and his board have overseen a staggering and consistent decline in Nikola's stock from $30 plus per share to a delisting NASDAQ price of less than 70 cents per share. Clearly, the status quo cannot continue. While the board recently publicly stated that it rejected our nominations, the reality is that the company has not legally done so, and that our nominations still stand. Our slate of directors candidates is highly qualified, wholly independent, and focused on one goal: implementing a lasting turnaround that unlocks the significant potential of Nikola. Okay, so we don't really want to go on much further with this. We'll now look at the numbers. I don't think we need to. Should we carry on a bit more with it? Maybe we should. It's very important stuff. For approximately 4 years, the board has overseen operational underperformance, value-destructive acquisitions, the breakdown of the Iveco Group Nikola partnership, the loss of meaningful European market share, and the sale of key assets while taking on debt. I think I will leave it there. We know the history. We've covered this before. You've got the founder in prison. You've got the company's stock price virtually wiped out, and now we are looking for a new board. Will that make a difference? I don't know. Would you want to buy a company that has had so much negativity around it? I mean, you could say you can buy the company cheap, potentially, and then things turn around. You've got the potential for a major turnaround. Or would you even want to be involved in this? For me, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole because it's full of all the wrong sort of people. The investors are all aggressive. The founders in prison. There are just so many great companies to invest in. Why would you even want to consider the risk of all of this? However, some of you might regard it as an opportunity. So let's look at that right now. Let's look at that. So we're saying the valuation of the stock, it's worth $1.03. So we're still not saying it's worth $30 like it used to if they can fix things. We're saying it's worth $1. However, there is a valuation report, persistent overvaluation. There's no only use multiples. It doesn't use a DCF valuation. So we're still presented with no information whether it's worth it or not. To me, it seems you're just buying something that is in the toilet and you might be able to fish it out and get something out of it. I don't know why you'd even bother, to be quite frank. Best case scenario, 51% undervalued. Best case, 28% undervalued. I mean, to be fair, flipping heck, if I was buying this now, it'd have to be 1,000% undervaluation for it to be worthwhile. What do you think? Anyway, let's have a look on the last earnings. What did we get from the earnings? Nikola's Q3 was a tale of endurance and strategic focus. Despite a recall impacting their electric truck deliveries, that they preserved by launching a significant fuel cell truck and securing additional funds. Good news. They streamlined costs. Good news. Reduced cash burn by 25%. Good news compared to Q2. and bolstered their unrestricted cash position, closing Q3 with 705.8 million on hand. Future truck deliveries are anticipated with 277 non-binding orders already received. Very good. And the delivery of battery electric trucks to customers expecting to resume in Q1 of 2024. Nikola is preparing for brighter 2024 while navigating short-term challenges, including an outside expected gross loss margin between negative 215,000 to 100 to negative 135%. Sorry, 215% to negative 135%. Okay, what about the financials? Well, down 45% on the most recent range, but we are expecting an S-curve going through 24, 25, 26. Can that happen? Can that happen? If that happens, maybe you're buying a stock at the bottom and you've got a great deal. Maybe. But anyway, we're down 45% on the most recent range. Operating income has been steadily improving, up 0.6. Net income is down 0.22. Is down 22% on the most recent range. But we are expecting things to improve going forward. Free cash flow up 12%. That's improved. Capital expenditure, we've reduced costs. That's good. We're spending less money. Operating cash flow up 11%. Some good news here. What about the balance sheet? 1.1 billion in assets. Of that, just about around a third is cash. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's have a look at the exact number. Yes, 31% is cash. We're holding cash. That's good. That's good. And the liabilities is half of our assets. So that's good. How much debt have we reduced it? Long-term debt, 232 million, 50%. Sorry, 42%. It's coming down. The debt position is coming down. With interest rates coming down, this will also help. We've got a lot of positive news in the balance sheet, no doubt about it. So, that's good. We like that. What about the efficiency of the company? The gross margins have fallen off a cliff. Down 740%. Operating margins, they're negative 2,309%. So as you can see, all the efficiency of the company is in the toilet, and pretty much all of it has been worsening as well. So nothing there to get excited about. The fundamental score, 23%. I'm going to give it 23%. So profitability isn't very good either. But that can turn around with efficiency improvements. The exceptional revenue growth over the 3 years is good. Exceptional revenue growth forecast is good. ROIC is good. It's just negative 1 year revenue growth is not so good. What about the solvency? Is the company going bust? The good news is no, they're not going bust. Low DE is good. Long-term solvency is good. Negative net debt is good. Short-term solvency is good. 39%. We're not that far off from turning green. We've gone from red into amber, and the amber is starting to turn green. So not too bad. Solvency score, they're not going to go bust. Okay, they've got a bit of cash. They're not going bust anytime soon, so we can feel confident in that. But do you feel confident in the board though? 146% upside on the average. So you can see Wall Street, if they get it right, 314% upside, and that's only to $3. Imagine if it goes back to $30. Imagine if it does. So huge upside potential. Huge upside potential. What about inside trading? Has anyone been buying the stock? Anyone been buying the stock during the last 12 months? We've seen stocks be sold. In fact, $895,000 worth of stock sold, and that was in September 23. So it's a few months ago. No buying, but then that's not necessarily a bad thing. You want to be buying in before insiders buy. But you would have thought at 70 cents, everybody would be buying. Maybe they will after they get the board sorted out. Maybe they're still waiting to see if they can sort the board out, get a new board and get a new management and new structure. You know, the founder's now in prison. Dear, oh dear. Anyway, 19%. Let's have a look at the short interest. Well, 19% is the short interest with volume. And if we have a quick look at the volume today, can we get a short squeeze? Well, let's have a look. Let's scroll down. 101 million. The average is 77. 19% short. So technically, yes, we can. High volume, a lot more, 30% more than average. But is it going the wrong way? Well, let's have a look. We're down today, but we're up on the week, but it's nothing, is it? 4.5% of the last 3 months, over the last month, I beg your pardon. So, yeah, potentially, if we get some positive news, then potentially there's a short squeeze on the cards here. We need 20% to start getting excessive. I mean, it's not like a magic number or anything. At 20%, you get a short squeeze. Remember, GameStop was 100%. You do need high short interest, but anything above 20 is excessive. Is it enough to create a short squeeze? Well, what we need is some positive sentiment. Let's look. Do we have any positive sentiment? These are all the reviews that have been done on Nikola. Not that many. I did it 3 months ago, so it's nice that one of my viewers has asked me to do it again. There's been nothing, very little news really. 2 months ago, a bit of information, not that great deal, not worth me. I mean, I could give it just a quick moment here, see what this has to say, but really nothing new going on. Let's have a quick look. Let me just mute that a moment because they're playing audio. So it's just a commercial. It's nothing really of any importance. Are they still playing music?
Have signed it.
Yes, they are. They're playing music, so I'm not going to focus on that. What about the last 90 days sentiment? Well, as you can see, 42% negative sentiment. Last 30 days, 31%, slightly decreased. 33, back up again. Just neutral news, really, a bit of positive. And today, just a bit of neutral news. So nothing really to influence the stock to go upwards. No new news. I am the news. I am presenting the latest review on it. There isn't anything else. So my final thoughts on this stock. Well, they're not going bust anytime soon. They have a reasonable balance sheet. They have some cash in hand. I think what it comes down to is the product itself could be good. The perception, the idea, we've looked at the product before. It has a potential. The problem is it's run by crooks. One's in prison. The board are all being fired. I mean, would you want to buy a company like that? Now, you could regard, yes, that's exactly what Warren Buffett does. He finds companies that have a great potential but are in the dumps. They are being run by the wrong people, or they've run out of money, but they could be a great company. So potentially this is one of those stocks. So I'm going to put on this one a potential buy. A potential buy for the reason that the product is good, the potential is good, the balance sheet is good. We could get a short squeeze. We do have the volume. We do have the short interest. Unfortunately, the people that are behind it, a bit like Plug's a great company, but a few people behind this are terrible. They're terrible people. They're on, they're on StockTwits. They're on Reddit. They're not interested in numbers. They just want to promote the stock regardless. And that's what the founder did. Just promote stuff without substance. So is it a buy for me? I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it because I don't buy it. I only own the S&P to be completely impartial and biased. That way I can have the right people on my show and present the best information for my members. But is it a potential? It is. It's a potential buy because of the short squeeze, the balance sheet, the product. If they can get the board sorted out and bring some positive news, then maybe this stock could pop up Maybe it could. If run properly, it shouldn't be at 70 cents. Perhaps not $30 anymore, but it maybe could be $10 or somewhere in that region, or perhaps potentially. So it's a potential buy from me. Leave me your thoughts and comments below. I will reply to all my members. Click above my head for all the links. If you want my alpha spread, you can go and use it. Members get a free plan, or you can get a discounted plan, which basically makes my membership for free. Above my head, all my links, my social media, it's on the martynlucas.com all links button, by the way. Below in the description, you'll find all the links you might need and extra information. Also, just along the bottom of here, you'll see my music channel. Go and check out my music channel. I'm the World Piano Man, and I do live concerts here in my studio every Friday, special events, and you can, let me give you a wave. There you go. I'm making this live in the video. Go and check it out. And over here, I'll put all my reviews. Go and check out my old review and my new reviews and everything else, and see what you think. All right, Nikola, would you buy it? It's a potential buy from me. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.